What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full greatest weakness Pokemon team. This one is for Patreon. If you like your theme team done, you can check it out in the description of the video under the Patreon link. And this one is for you. Try and say that username 50 times. So basically the whole idea was for them to use 6 Pokemon, or obviously use 6 Pokemon, but you had to use the moves that you were 4 times weak to. So Rhyperior, for example, is 4 times weak to water and grass, right? So I had to use only water and grass type attacking moves, right? So I could use status moves, they didn't have to be that type, but the attacking moves had to be grass or water. I had to use at least one of them. So I thought I'll use all of them as the attacking moves, and I'll use my stat up moves as other things. So with this Rhyperior lead, it was rather bad. So this was also a battle on my chat against Elder Cleric. If you guys want to battle me, that's in the description of the video too. So we had Ordino as the lead there. However, Regirock is going to swap into this, which is going to make things pretty good for me. So my Rhyperior set was absolutely amazing, guys. I had Rain Dance to boost up my water type moves. I had Surf and Aqua Tail, so it was a mixed attacker. And however, they didn't list any grass type attacks, which it actually doesn't get, but technically it does because it gets hidden power grass, so I gave that as the last move too. So Regirock is going to get hit by a boosted Surf in the rain, which is amazing. I gave this max health and max special attack because its attack stat is really already quite good. And it also made me a mixed attacker too. Right, so anyway, it's going to have Drain Punch. Drain Punch isn't going to do much because I've got Solid Rock and I've got max health as well, so it's very, very bulky, even against special type moves. Plus, it isn't really stay for Regirock either. Now, I've also got the Pasho Berry as the item because I thought that'd be pretty cool to kind of suit in with this theme team too. But as you can see, this is a very problematic team, right? I don't have stab for any of my moves. I can get walled very easily. They just don't hit hard enough. So I had many, many battles with this team. It wasn't just like a couple of lads. But this battle in particular was probably one of the most entertaining battles I had with this team. So make sure you stick around. It's very good. So now we have the Ordino coming in. I got rid of nearly got rid of the Regirock. And now I'm going to go for an Aqua Tail. And that's going to be enough to actually take it out with a 2-hit KO in the rain. So that's nice. And I didn't even have any attack AVs there, just basing off a Rhyperior's raw attack stat. So that was pretty good. So now we have the Regirock coming back in. Now the rain isn't up anymore, so I'm not going to be hitting as hard. Regirock also actually outspeeds me too, because if you notice, before I was only running health and special attack AVs. I actually was able to tag that one on 8 health, which is really nice. Which is cool. I know they're not going to have enough to actually take out the Regirock, but Aqua Tail was going to land and do some nice damage to it too. Almost taking it out, so it's putting in a pretty good range for my next Pokemon to come in. So Rhyperior did a nice job. It got rid of the Ordino and basically nearly got rid of the Regirock. So I'm quite happy with that. It's quite funny. Rhyperior learns like Surf and Aqua Tail, those kind of moves too. It's interesting. It's the good thing about these kind of teams is you kind of look through their movesets and think, those Pokemon get that move. It's rather interesting. So now swapping in my Auroras. This has got Snow Warning. I've got on this one Iron Head, Rock Polish, Flash Cannon, and Iron Defense. I try to put as many steel type moves as possible. I've obviously got the Snow Warning. The item is Iapa Berry for a little bit of health recovery. Now the idea is to go for the Rock Polish, outspeed your opponent, and just spam Iron Head and hope for flinches. Now I've also got Flash Cannon on there. It has not a bad special attack stat, just for a mixed attacker. And I've also put Iron Defense on there as well, to try and fit in with this theme. But the idea is just to spam Iron Head and try and get some flinches off. So getting around this Raticate, it's going to actually outspeed me with the reversal, which is good, and not doing a hell of a lot of damage to me, which is very much appreciated. So it's going to take a little bit of damage from the Snow Warning. Now I can go for the Iron Head, hoping I can get some flinches on this set, hopefully. Unfortunately for me, that time I didn't. Our reversal is obviously going to be powered up now because it went, after my Iron Head. So the next reversal, I'm most definitely going to go down. And unfortunately, it actually doesn't put me in the berry range either, so it doesn't activate, which is a real problem. Hoping I get the flinch this turn, and I don't. And the Raticate's going to be able to take my Auroras out. But that is all good. And that's Auroras down, did a pretty good job, almost taking out the Raticate too. Now this is where the battle starts to get very interesting. So now swapping my Tyranitar, also on my team, I had all 3 different kinds of weather. I've had rain, I had snow, and now I've got sand. So I've had all of them, except for sunlight, so it's crazy. Now this was a Quick Claw Tyranitar. Let me go over this. This is probably the funniest set on my team. So I get the Quick Claw activation, and that's going to take the Raticate out with a low kick. Now on the Tyranitar, I had Dynamic Punch, I had Hone Claws, I had Focus Miss, and Low Kick. So it only had fighting type moves. Now, obviously, if I came up against a ghost type, I did have something for that too, as I'll explain as the battle goes on. So now we have the Dugtrio coming up. I was very worried about a ground type move. They're going to go for Attract, so that's a little bit annoying. Now, obviously, I've got Quick Claw, I've got max special attack and max attack. So the idea is to get the Quick Claw activation and just attack the opponent, basically. So trying to get through this Infatuation was a problem too. Now, this was actually a Bright Powder Sand Veil Dugtrio as well. So I didn't know this at the time. I found out afterwards. So let's just see how the battle unfolds, just bearing that one in mind. So I get the Dino Punch, but it misses. I'm like, damn, that really sucks. Now Dugtrio is going to go for the Earthquake. I knew this would hit me really hard. I knew that I'd be able to probably just be able to tank it, which is good too. So Tyranitar obviously is very bulky in itself too. So getting another, I think that's 3 in a row now. I get the Quick Claw activation from Tyranitar. I'm Infatuated, which sucks. However, get through that and I get the Focus Miss off, which is hype. And that's going to hit the Dugtrio. And that does a lot of damage, almost taking it out with a crit. And the Dugtrio is going to get off the Earthquake against my Tyranitar. I think that was 4 Quick Claw activations in a row. That is crazy. And Tyranitar is going to go down to that one. But he did an amazing job. I was very happy with that. And the Dugtrio, the Sandstorm is going to subside. And the Dugtrio is only on a little bit of health. Now, this was also another very funny Pokemon on team. Tyranitar and Cacturne were the MVPs of this battle. So firstly, the Dugtrio is going to go for the Attract on Cacturne. Now, obviously, as you know, on Cacturne, if you did notice what was written next to the Pokemon, it had Fell Stinger. So I thought, oh man, this is such a good opportunity for Fell Stinger, right? So I had Fell Stinger, Pin Missile, Switcheroo. Now, I had Switcheroo with a Ring Target, right? That was mainly for my Tyranitar. I also had Rototiller as well to boost up my attack and special attack. Mainly my attack because I only had physical moves. Anyway, so it's going to use Swagger on me, boosting my attack by 2. However, I get through that and get the Fell Stinger off. So now my Cacturne has +5 in attack. Oh my goodness. Oh man, that's crazy. And then obviously that Infatuation has gone too. So I get a drastic rise. So man, I've got Fell Stinger and Pin Missile, right? So Sigilyph's going to come out. I know that I'm going to outsped by this. If it has a flying type move, I'm in trouble. So it's going to be a physical one. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to live this one. Even with like max health, I'm not going to be able to live this one. And it's going to have the Power Herb, which charges, and it misses. I'm like, oh, that's so lucky. Then I snap out of confusion, and then I'm able to get off the Pin Missile. Man, Pin Missile is doing so much damage to Sigilyph. And guess what, guys? I hit 3 times in a row and take out the Sigilyph. Oh, man, the Soldier. That was so lucky. So my Cacturne is sweeping through the Sigilyph. Now we have the Uxie as the last Pokemon. So I was like, well, the only thing I'm going to do is land a Pin Missile against this Pokemon. And, you know, it's over. So it's going to outspeed me, obviously, and go for the U-turn here. That does a lot of damage to me. I think that could have even been choice betted. I'm going to go for the Pin Missile again. All I need to do is hit the Uxie 3 times in a row. And that is enough to take it out. Guess what, guys? I hit it 3 times in a row, and that is game. I hope you guys enjoyed this first battle. I just wanted to show you this this team like in its most luckiest form. That was the most luck I ever got with this team throughout the whole battle. So I didn't think putting it in the bonus battle or the bloopers would have given it justice, right? So it's kind of like when I got hit by 4 Horn Drills in a row the other day, right? So it was kind of similar like that. So next battle we have on my chat, this one was against Germ. So we have another Ordino lead. What the hell? So I'm setting up my Rain Dance here. I'm going to try and get those Aqua Tails going again. Obviously they worked pretty well against the Ordino last time, so I thought, let's go for it this time. So now we have a Z move, like right off the bat here. That's going to be the, I think that's a Psychium Z on the Ordino. Right, so it's going to boost its accuracy, and it's going to use its full force, which is Trick Room. So that's cool. The Pokemon on my team aren't, you know, overly fast either, so that's not really a worry to me. Now right up here is going to go for the Aqua Tail, outspeed in Trick Room, which is good. And that hits pretty hard. It's about a 3-hit KO. So the idea I see with this Ordino set is to use Trick Room and then spam Zen Headbutt to try and flinch the opponent, right? So now, obviously, I'm going to outspeed the Ordino again in Trick Room. Aqua Tail was really good for me today. I'd actually never miss with it, which is kind of a miracle for me. So I'm going to hit by the Drain Punch. Man, Weakness Policy would have come in like so handy in so many of these battles, but I guess that's kind of how it was. So Drain Punch recovering a little bit on the Ordino, not enough to actually leave the next Aqua Tail. Even a Surf I thought would be enough to take it out. So I went for the Surf on the Ordino, and that was enough to take it down. No, it wasn't. It lived on like 1 health. So now it's going to hit me with the Drain Punch, and it's going to get some more health back. Now, I had a couple of instances of living on 1 health. Seriously, guys, if I do one theme team right, there is not a battle that goes by where the opponent doesn't live on 1 health. It's like a curse. So going for, I think that was a Hidden Power Grass in the arse, and that is Ordino down. So now the Twisted Dimensions turn to normal, and now we have the Raticate, the big Raticate this time. These teams are actually pretty similar. Man, look how big the Raticate is compared to Rhyperior. That's so crazy. So it's going to go for a bite. Obviously a scumbag flinching set. I don't want any of that going for the Aqua Tail and doing, it's about a 3-hit KO. So now the it has the Toxic Orb. Obviously that's for Facade. That's not going to do a lot against me. So now the Big Rat's going to go for the U-turn, and that's not doing a lot to Rhyperior either. And they're going to swap that out, obviously. So now I went for the Aqua Tail again to have this Sylph Valley come out. Obviously this is the Electric Sylph Valley. So going for the Surf here, I thought that'd be enough to hit the Raticate pretty hard, but it doesn't do much to the Sylph Valley swapping in. So there's not much I can do, and now this is going to have Surf too. That's going to take out my Rhyperior. I do have the Pasho Berry actually activated. Even with the Solar Rock and Pasho Berry, it wasn't enough to starve off the damage from the Surf, but man, I wish I had a bit more health for to live that. That would have been amazing. So Rhyperior is down, but man, he did a solid job as my lead again. So now, swapping in Tyranitar, I was like hoping I could get some nice quick claw action happening. So we got the Sandstream, which is kicking up. So I thought, well, I have some room to go for Hone Claws here, and then I can maybe go for the Focus Miss or the Dynamic Punch, banking on that, them to hit or the quick claw to actually kick in. So Surf is about a 3-hit, 4-hit KO. Going for the Hone Claws, I thought I had enough room for that. Tyranitar is obviously very bulky on its special side in the sand. So also the Sylvella is going to get a little bit of damage from the Sandstorm too. So now it's obviously the best players for it to continually go for the Surf. The whole irony is if I had Earthquake on this thing, it could have done some mega damage, but that was the challenge of this team. So now go for Dynamic Punch, it hurts, yes! And I get some big damage from that, almost taking it out, and I get the confusion. Now the sand is also going to kick in too on the Sylvella, but guess what guys, I lose on like 1 health again! Oh, I can't believe it. Now the confusion is going to kick up, and of course it's not going to get confused, and it's going to hit me with the Surf, taking my Tyranitar out. However, the sand is still around, so that's going to be enough to take out the Sylvella the same turn. I was kind of hoping that my Tyranitar could stick around for a little bit longer so I could get like another Scumbag Quick Claw or Dynamic Punch or something off. So that was good. A double KO. So now we have Flareon coming in. The sand is going to do some damage to it, which is, I guess that's good. Now, this was an awful matchup, this Kabutops. This Kabutops was horrible. This was like a mean set. So obviously this is 4 times weak to Grass, right? So I had to use Giga Drain as my only attacking moves. So what I come up with, right, was Metal Sound, a Z Metal Sound with the Steel EMZ. So what Z Metal Sound does, it does the same as Metal Sound. Obviously, it drops the opponent's special defense by 2 stages. Plus, it gives the Pokemon a +1 in special attack. So that's essentially a +3 if the opponent doesn't swap out. I also gave it Foresight to help out some of my other Pokemon that couldn't hit Ghost types. And I gave it Confuse Ray as well. There wasn't a lot I could actually do with this. So I had max special attack and max speed. Also had Battle Armor as the ability too. I didn't really want to get critted. So swapping out Kabutops, it could do absolute monkeys to Flareon. And swapping in Makago because I had a ground type move on this too. So getting hit by the Flame Charge is not going to do too much to me. So let's go over what this Makago set was. It's very bulky. Obviously it's got its key weaknesses, but it's quite fun to use. So I had Mud Slap as a ground type move. It was 4 times weak to ground, so I kept that. I Recover, Toxic, and Infestation. Infestation was only there to trap the opponent. It wasn't really for damage, so that was the only move I could use to trap them with. So I had Mud Slap as well. That was my 4 times weak move I used. So now Flareon is poisoned, and the idea is I'm going to try and trap it in to just like spam off Recover until it goes down. So now it's going to snap out of Confusion. I was hoping it would actually hit itself to get some more damage. Unfortunately, it's going to be able to land a Toxic on my Makago. So once my Makago had a Toxic on it, it was pretty much gone, right? So going for the Mud Slap, hoping the Flareon is not going to hit me with any more annoying moves. There were a couple of moves I was worried about that the opponent had that would hit my Makago really hard. So I didn't really want to use up Makago this early in the game, but I didn't have much to actually swap into the Flareon, which is a little bit of a pain. It goes for the Giga Impact and misses due to my Mud Slap people. Maybe they expected a swap, I'm not too sure there. So I got a couple of special attack drops on Flareon, and the Poison is working rather nicely. So I was thinking, well, I don't want to take any damage from the Giga Impact. I don't want that, mainly I don't want that Toxic to rack up too much, because I want to use my Makago a little bit later on. So I thought I could swap back into my Kabutops, considering Kabutops is it's not that great with Giga Drain. It's terrible, really. So, mainly looking at my team on a whole, right, probably Makago is very handy. Tyranitar is quite handy. Even though I didn't have Stab or anything, it still hit fairly hard. And, Yeah, they were kind of it, right? It was very difficult. So yeah, the Flareon's going to go down to the Toxic mainly, and that is good. So that's I'm happy to get rid of that one. So we still have the Raticate left, and we still have 2 other Pokemon. So taking a little bit more damage from the poison, and so now we have the Raticate coming in. So I can go for Giga Drain against this thing. There was no point in me going for Metal Sound because I didn't have enough really health to actually set that one up. So Giga Drain does, you know, fair damage, almost takes it out with a crit, which is beautiful. That crit actually helped me get a lot of health back, and was nice. So now the Raticate's going to go for the bite. It's not going to be able to outspeed me either, which is good. If it outsped me, it may have flinched me, and that could have been like really bad too. So now I can go for the Giga Drain and take out the Raticate. However, it's going to go for Protect, so it didn't want me to get any more health back, and that's fine. It was going to go down anyway, so that's cool. The Giga Drain is going to hit the Protect, and Raticate goes down, and so does Kabutops on probably the next turn. I don't think even the Giga Drain, if I got that health back from Giga Drain, it would have been much anyway, so I wasn't really expecting to live the next turn. So now the opponent has a Makago too, so I'm like, man, I've got to keep my Makago for this so we can have like Makago Wars. So Kabutops really can't do much. I thought, let's go for the Z-Metal Sound. At least I can get a special defense drop on this Makago. And swapping my Makago, I might be able to get like a Mud Slap up against this thing and do some amazing damage, people. So go for the Metal Sound, and hits... the only thing about Metal Sound is accuracy is a bit shaky, right? So you can get your plus in special attack, which is nice, but that plus two in the special defense negative on the opponent doesn't always hit. It's sort of a bit of a risky move to use. Anyway, so swapping in Cacturne here, there wasn't a lot I could do. I thought, I wonder what item this thing has. So I go for the switcheroo to see what item it has, right? If it's got like, it might have something scummy like White Herb or something like that. It turned out it actually had Bright Powder. I was like, oh man, I'm so glad I got rid of that. I was kind of hoping the Flamethrower would miss on my Cacturne since I just grabbed the Bright Powder, but that was not the case, and Cacturne gets one shot of there, unfortunately, so a big comparison to this than the first game, right? So now I've only got 2 Pokemon left, so I thought, Makago, it's time, baby. So I went for Mud Slap here, after I was thinking I could go for Toxic and then Mud Slap. That would be perfect on this Makago. I was wondering if it was like a fully offensive Makago or just like a, Bright Powder kind of trolling set. Now it's going to go for Earth Power. I'm like, oh, my greatest weakness, and Makago is down. So I've only got 1 more Pokemon left. I've got to get rid of this Makago. It's threatening. So I've got Aurorus left. I know that I can outspeed the Makago. The problem was I don't have any like really powerful moves to hit it with. And I knew Iron Head and Flash Cannon wouldn't be enough to take it out. Even Flash Cannon wouldn't be one-shotting, even though it's got like a -2 in special defense. I thought it'd be about a 2-hit KO. So I've got the Snow happening. I went for Flash Cannon directly because I didn't want to mess around. I want to get some damage on this thing. Does fairly good damage. Now it's going to go for Ancient Power. I'm like, oh, here we go. So it's going to obviously hit me for super effective damage, doing well over half my health. And then it got a boost. I'm like, oh no, this is really bad. Depending on what speed they were running on their Makago, I was a little bit worried too that I was going to get outspeed here. Now, as I said, I was running max speed and max attack on my Aurora. So the good thing about that is I ran max speed, which actually enabled me to outspeed it. Plus, Makago speed is like 2, so it's not going to be outspeeding a lot of things, even after 1 Ancient Power boost. So finally, Makago goes down, and Parasect is the last Pokemon. So I thought, well, I don't have a bad chance here. All I got to do is flinch this thing with Iron Head. I'm estimating about 3 to actually get rid of it. So it hits it pretty hard. I was happy with that. Unfortunately, it doesn't get flinch, and I'm going to get Brick Break, and that is down. I hope you guys enjoyed both these battles. Make sure you check the bloopers out. They're very, very funny. Peace.